Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, and this time it's a gardener's family house. I'm thinking about calling it a gardener's dream home. And the only reason I'm a little bit hesitant is because I didn't fit in a greenhouse or a sunroom, but you could easily convert the garage or the office into a sunroom if you wanted to. So I think it's a dream house other than that. But either way, I really love this house. I had so much fun building it, and I think the style is really pretty. It doesn't look that cute right now. I kind of struggled at the beginning with the windows. I was gonna go for this like white house with black shutters and a red door. I thought that would look really cute, and I think it would if maybe the house shape was a bit different. I don't know, or if we had different windows. But either way, I ended up going for a completely different color scheme, and I just had a lot of fun with it, and I think the shape ends up being really nice, even though it looked kind of weird for a few moments there. It was a little bit longer before I sped it up, so it was quite a while, and I was like, am I gonna have to bulldoze this house? But I decided to continue, and I'm so happy that I did. I ended up using a mixture of base game windows with the Moschino windows, which I love. I think that stuff pack is honestly worth it just for those windows. So if you're not into the photography, which I think is actually really cool, that's another really nice thing about that pack. But if you're not into the fashion, which if you're not, I don't blame you, because I don't think the fashion in that Moschino pack is particularly that good. Maybe it's just not my style, so I'm sure some of you guys will like it, but I wouldn't personally buy it for that. But the windows and the furniture is pretty nice too, not necessarily my style, but these windows are so pretty. I love that they're open. So I really enjoyed using them here. And then I also used a few of the windows from university. And yeah, I just think it came together really nicely. For the exterior color scheme, I was pretty inspired by that base game house that I did recently for my 200K subscriber special where I did my Q&A. That build had a similar color scheme to this one, and yeah, I just thought that house was really pretty, so I wanted to bring some of those ideas to this one and just use every pack and kind of go crazy. And I'm really happy that I did, because I think this is just such a pretty home. I've been completely obsessed with it. I shared some pictures over on Twitter, which I haven't done in a while, I realize, and I should probably be better at that, because I think it's pretty fun to like share sneak peeks, and yeah, I'm just kind of bad at it. But either way, here you can see I'm moving on to the back of the house. I was not really sure how I wanted the back of the house to look. I knew I wanted there to be like a porch. There ends up being two porches. There's a smaller one leading out from the garage area, and then there's another one that leads from, I think it's the dining room. Yeah, it ends up being the dining room. Oh, and then the backyard is, I love the backyard. It's separated into two areas. So there's the garden area, and I fill the garden with tons of fruits and vegetables, and there's some herbs and I think some like berries and stuff. I went through the gallery and found some like rooms that had gardens already, you know, with plants growing in them, and I downloaded them and just filled the garden. So you will notice that in the screenshots, but not on the actual video itself. And then other than that, there is a little play area. You'll see me place a swing set and then do all the landscaping and that kind of stuff. And then once I was decorating the home, I decided that I wanted a toddler to live here. So I do go back when I'm taking the screenshots and just add a toddler slide in the backyard too. I think I place it for a moment and then decide not to. And then I also wanted to place a sandbox, but I was kind of running out of room. I honestly probably should have built this on a bigger lot. Then I probably could have fit like a greenhouse. So if you wanted to, you could probably move this to like a 30 by 40. I think maybe that would give you a little bit more space, because I believe this one's a 30 by 30. I think it is. Either way, it's here in Brindleton Bay. You can see the lot name in the top left-hand side of the screen. So this is where I built it. It's just in the Sable Square neighborhood. It's super cute. There's a house here originally. It's just like right across the street from the Hecking household, I think is their name. And yeah, it's such a beautiful area. I love this world. I think it's my favorite. I feel like Windenburg is a lot of people's favorites, and I feel like sometimes I should probably say it's my favorite too, because there's a lot of things I really love about it. I love how big it is, and I love the diversity of the neighborhoods, but I think it always just comes back to Brindleton Bay being my favorite. It's just so pretty. I love it so much. But here you can see I'm going through the live edit objects, just placing some planters by the garage, and then now I'm into the interior, working out the floor plan. Surprisingly, this floor plan came together really easily. Floor plans are something I've struggled with since I've started building. Sometimes it's a complete puzzle and it takes hours. Well, maybe not hours. That's probably a bit of an exaggeration, but it takes a long time. And sometimes I get really frustrated and I like sleep on it or just step away for a few hours and come back to it. And that's what I did with this one. I figured out the downstairs and I really wasn't liking it because where I was wanting to place certain things wasn't working out in my mind. And so I decided just to step away. I think I stepped away for like a day or something and came back to it and then figured out the floor plan. And yeah, I'm actually really pleased with it. I basically just left the first floor exactly how it was and then came back another day and then just decided to see if the second floor would work out with where I placed the stairs and everything. And I decided I really liked the layout of the second floor, so I just made the first floor work, and it actually worked out really nicely. There's an office space, like I mentioned, there's a garage area, there's a kitchen, a full dining room, a living room, there's a bathroom and a laundry area downstairs, and then upstairs there's 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And there's also the landing area where I put, I think, a Don't Wake the Llama table. So yeah, I thought that actually worked out really nicely. And the parents do have an ensuite bathroom, which I thought was really nice for this build. And the interior color scheme ends up having a lot of like neutral colors. There's some blacks, which I thought was a lot of fun. I've been looking at a lot of pictures recently on Pinterest for my own home. I mentioned this in a couple videos ago. I've been shopping for a dining table. I finally bought one. And I really love light wood. You guys probably know that, especially if you watch some of my apartments. I mentioned how I really like that kind of like light wood. It's like a bohemian color scheme, or not color scheme, a bohemian style meeting mid-century and Scandinavian, I think is what I gravitate towards, with lots of plants and just especially the light wood I really like. But my house doesn't have a lot of light wood in it, and I don't think it would really work that well because I've had my husband build me a couple of shelves and things, and I had them be like that raw, like unstained look, which I really love, but the color of the walls in this house is like the same color and it just becomes too much. And so if we had like bright white walls or maybe an off-white or something, but it's so close to yellow. It's just so close to that wood tone. It just, it drives me nuts. And we could probably ask our landlords if we could paint. They probably wouldn't mind, but this house is just too big for me to paint. It would take too long, and I don't know. It's a weird shaped house, and basically I just decided to go with a different color scheme. So I went with black chairs and a light wood table, and I figured maybe sometime in the future I could get light wood chairs to match the table, but I thought the black would work really nicely because our bar stools are already black. I don't know if you guys care about this, but it's something I've been spending a lot of time doing. So, but yeah, I'm really happy about it, and I got the chairs yesterday and I put them together. Now I'm just waiting for the table, and hopefully it looks nice in my kitchen. And yeah, it'll be really nice to have a dining space because my mom and my aunt are coming to visit in a month or so. Hopefully all this stuff with the coronavirus doesn't affect that. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I hope that that doesn't affect them coming because I'm really excited about it. So either way, I hope if you guys are in an area that's heavily affected, that you guys are doing well. And yeah, I just don't really know what to think about all this. I went shopping yesterday and there was no toilet paper. I honestly thought that people were exaggerating a little bit when they were saying that stores were running out of toilet paper, like I saw it on Facebook and stuff, but there was literally none at the grocery store down the street from my house. So I'm gonna go to a bigger grocery store and maybe buy like an extra pack because we have some, but I'm kind of nervous that now we're going to run out, but I think that's kind of adding to the panic buying if I just go buy some for no reason, but I think I would just buy a pack. Anyways, I don't really want to talk about that stuff too much more. Here I am working on the landscaping. The landscaping was probably my favorite part of this build. I just really enjoyed it. I used basically all live edit objects plants and just tried to make them look really lush and overgrown. I mean, this is a gardener's house, and a gardener in my mind is or at least this type of gardener sim, isn't necessarily into like pristine, like clean cut, like well landscaped yards. Like they love plants to be like their natural selves, so everything isn't like pruned and like proper. It's not like tidy. And so I wanted it to look really lush and overgrown, and just I really enjoyed it a lot. And I used these cobblestones from the Live Edit Objects 2 to make some pathways, and then I used an archway from the Live Edit Objects entering the garden area, which I thought was really fun. And I thought about including like a swimming pool and things like that, which I thought would be really nice. I could have probably moved the house a tiny bit closer to the street, but I really liked the place of it. So that's why I wasn't able to add a few extra things in the backyard. But like I mentioned, I think if you were to move this on a little bit bigger of a lot, then you could add tons of stuff. So I think it's really nice for you guys if you want to download it. If this is perfect for you, then it'll fit perfectly on this size a lot, which like I said, I think is a 30 by 30. But if you feel like adding on to what I've already done, then you could add it to a bigger lot and expand. And if you do, I would love to see pictures. I always really love to see pictures of you guys playing in my builds or things that you've done. You can always share them to me on Instagram or on Twitter or something. I think I actually have never updated my Instagram link in my description of my videos, because for a long time I was SimLicy_YT on Instagram, and then finally whoever had SimLicy deleted their account, so I was able to change it back to just SimLicy, because I did have SimLicy like a year ago and then I never used Instagram, and so I just deleted it, and then somebody took SimLicy, so I got it back. And when you change your name, it breaks the links, so I have to update that. So if you guys have been trying to follow it to there, I mean, I don't really share a whole lot, so if you don't, it's not that big of a deal. But if you want to, it is just SimLicy at Instagram. And yeah, you can share pictures with me there, or all that kind of stuff. You can tag me on the gallery. Speaking of the gallery, I am going to be going through and doing some tours of your guys' interior decorations of my starter houses. I know it's been a while since I released the video on my starter houses, and yeah, I don't really have a good excuse why I haven't done any tours yet, but I'm going to be working on this very soon. And I'm also going to be going through and starting to decorate the starter houses myself in kind of like a mini series where I just go through each of them and decorate them how I see fit. Now, when I go through to decorate them, it's not going to be restricted by a budget. They're starter houses as is right now, but when I'm done decorating them, they're definitely not going to be starter houses, because I think most of them are really close to being 20,000 simoleons, and 20,000 simoleons is what you get when you start out with one sim. And so basically, if you guys aren't familiar with them, my idea for them was to have like the bare bones of a house, like a house that's ready to move into that costs less than 20,000 simoleons, and then you could add your decorations as you get money and stuff. I thought it'd be a fun challenge for you guys and like an interesting way of gameplay. At least I like that idea, gameplay. So yeah, I'm really excited to go through and decorate them. Yeah, I think that's all I had to say about that. But I think the exterior of this house has basically came together. I love this little wooden thing. I was going to call it a cart, but I think the one that we have decorated in the actual Build and Buy catalog has wheels on it, but this one from the Live Edit Objects is just such a nice little stand or table, and I cluttered it up using the OMSP shelf with some extra plants and some gardening gloves and scissors, and that little tray that we have that has all of those gardening supplies in it too, I thought was really sweet. And then over here is where I was thinking about placing a sandbox, but I really did not have the room for it. Maybe if I were to move the swing set, I could have made it work, but I just really liked the placement of the swing set. But to the left of that is where I end up placing the toddler slide. Not here in the video, it's when I take the screenshots, because I did the toddler's bedroom, and then when I went to go take the screenshots, I was like, there's really no activity on the exterior for a toddler to do, so I thought that would be kind of nice. But the first room that I'm decorating is going to be this garage area. I thought about placing the flower arranging table in here, and you'll see me try to place it for a while, but I really wanted the not the workbench, the woodworking table. I guess that's still a workbench, but I placed that in here instead, and I move the flower arranging table out to the garden area. And so I thought that was kind of a nice place to put it. And then in here I get some extra flower pots. I have that wall decoration that came from Get Together that has the shovel and the pitchfork. I was gonna call it a rake. My goodness, my words are like not coming together very well today, so apologies about that. But I also get a bicycle in here. But first I do place both the woodworking table and the flower arranging table, and it just looked kind of crowded to me in some way. I don't know, maybe if I were to move the windows, I could have made it work, but I just loved the mosquito windows in here so much, and the size of them and the shape of them just kind of only worked for the places I was placing them. But I do end up using these base game counters and cabinets to create another kind of workbench area, and I just put some clutter items on them, and I just thought it looked kind of nice, and it looks like built-ins that you might have in a garage area. And then here I'm going into my room category and pulling out this room that I made. It is on the gallery if you guys want to download it, and it just has a bunch of extra things that I thought would work really nicely in a garage. So I just pull out a few items and place them on this shelf just to add a little bit extra clutter, and I just thought it was kind of nice extra clutter for a garage. So I think that looks really good. And then I think this is basically it for the whole garage area. And then there I was just switching up the color of the walkway leading to the house and the garage, and then the back area. I had just the plain concrete, which I thought looked nice, but it was just a bit boring, so I chose a pattern one instead. But here you can see I'm working on moving to the living room area. I thought about putting 2 archways and then placing a fireplace in between them, but the fireplaces were a little bit big, and then sized down it was a better size, but I wasn't sure if, because they sized down quite a bit, so I thought the fire would probably stay the same when your Sims light it, and then it would probably look like a fire was like actually burning down the fireplace itself. And so I thought it would just kind of take over it and not look very good. And then I thought the placement of the furniture would be a little bit weird too. So I decided not to do that, but I actually really like the way this living room turns out. I decided to start with this area after the garage because I knew it was the weirdest shaped room, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna wanna make any changes to the layout or anything to make it work better, or move the living room somewhere else and make this like the kitchen or the dining room. But I'm actually really happy with the layout of this living room, and I love these couches. They came from Seasons, and I thought the branches on the pillows was perfect because of this whole gardener theme idea. I think a gardener would just love to have that little bit of like nature reflected on their furniture. So I thought that was really cool. And then I wanted to hang a hanging plant. I really want to use those on interiors, but they just have such like harsh shadows that they don't look good basically anywhere I place them. I've seen some other people use them though, and I'm not sure if they're using certain like lighting or if they know a trick that I don't know, but I've seen people use them and it looks really good. But for whatever reason, I try to use them on interiors and they never look that good. I think I've successfully used them on an interior once. And I think maybe it was an apartment, and I think when you have like certain furniture next to them, it adds to the shadow or something. So maybe that was my problem with the TV, but either way, I decided not to. Hopefully when we get the knitting stuff pack, hopefully we get those hanging plants. I think I voted for 3 out of the 5 options when it came to that pack. Are you guys voting for the stuff pack, the community voted stuff pack? If you guys aren't, you guys definitely should. I think the next round of voting, I'm not sure when it's going to be, but I think it's going to be more on like the gameplay aspect and what's going to be featured as actual gameplay in that pack. But overall, I'm loving the art style. It's very similar to, probably very similar to Laundry Day and Cats and Dogs, like that very like homey, cozy, kind of like natural look, which I love. I really love having extra stuff like that in game, and I think it suits a knitting pack. And I'm just really hoping that we get the hanging plants. And there was also some like tapestries or like kind of like macrame wall hangings, and all the stuff is just so cute. I really struggled voting, and I think at first I picked like 60 something options. I had like twice as many as I was supposed to have, and I had to narrow it down. It was so hard. I probably should have recorded that. Let me know if you guys want to see maybe for future voting stuff packs. I don't know if I'll do any for this community voted stuff pack since it's already been so many like votes now that I don't think it would really make sense. But if we ever have one again in the future, let me know if you guys would be interested in me going through my like process of what I decide. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that, but let me know if you would. But either way, I finished the dining room. I love the dining room. It's one of my favorite parts of this whole interior. I think it's so pretty, and I think it just matches the living room really nicely. But over here, I do have a little bit of an office space. I get a computer desk in here. I get a seating area, an art easel. It's just kind of like a skill building office room. But if you wanted to, you probably could turn this into a sunroom. I would probably just change the roof to a glass roof and maybe put some bigger windows, or like floor length windows all around it. Oh, sunrooms are so pretty. I thought about doing that honestly when I was decorating this, and I just decided not to because I was really liking the office space, and I thought it was really nice for gameplay, and I really wasn't sure where else I would put an office in this building. I mean, maybe I could have done it in the upstairs landing area. Of course, we do have laptops now in the game, so you could use those at the dining table instead of having the office space. So it's totally up to you guys, but that's what I decided to do, and I think the area is so pretty. And then over here is going to be the kitchen. I love this kitchen. I think it's such a fun little shape, and I really liked using that base game sink in between the counters. I was trying to make it look more like a farmhouse sink. We did get that one from Parenthood, and I thought about using the Parenthood counters, but I really wanted this like rich brown color. I thought it would suit the build really nicely, and I wanted the sink to be centered below the window, and the way the counters work, it wouldn't have worked if I used the regular size. So using those like corner pieces to the counters worked really nicely. And then I have a little bar counter here, so you can sit and just have your breakfast or have a snack or something, so you don't have to sit at the dining table. But yeah, I thought that worked out really well. And then there's a teapot, and then I hang this shelf that we got from the Tiny Living pack, which I love. I love this shelf so much. I want to use it in every single build, and I think I nearly have. Since that pack came out, I've used that pack a lot. I really like it. I love all of the furniture. I think the tiny living aspect is pretty cool too. I don't know if I were to do any gameplay if I'd really want to play in a tiny house, because I really just love like these big family homes to play in. So, but either way, the furniture is really nice. But this is basically it for the kitchen. I did put a pet food bowl in here because I was thinking they probably had a dog. I didn't add any cat items, so there's no litter box or anything. But I think there's probably room in the downstairs bathroom or the garage area. So if you decided you wanted this house to have a cat and you needed a litter box, which I would definitely recommend, then I think there's space for it. But yeah, I just imagine they had a dog. And then over here is the entryway, so I wanted to have a side table with a mirror above it. I really love this mirror that came from Seasons. Like it's really pretty. I love the detail on the side. Like I think that's really nice, but it just hangs on the wall way too high, and it basically never really looks that good unless you're using like a taller like dresser or something. But I just did a move objects trick to place it a little bit lower, and I think that looks really nice. But over here is going to be the downstairs bathroom, so it's just a half bath. If you wanted to, you could definitely fit in a shower or a bathtub or something if you felt like you needed the extra space, but I just like having a half bath because I feel like that's pretty realistic for a house like this, to have one close to the door that's just like a toilet area. So when you're leaving for work or coming home from school, or just leaving the house for whatever reason or coming back, there's a bathroom really close to the front door. Oh, it's kind of a weird concept, but I think it's realistic. But up here is the upstairs landing. So I have this gaming table. I put a plant and a lamp in the corner. I have a little poof over here so you could sit and talk to whoever's playing. And then other than that, there's just some artwork. I left the wall in front of the staircase bare. I wasn't sure what I wanted to place there. I didn't think I could really find any artwork that I thought would look good there, but I think if you were to play in this household and take pictures of the family, that would be a nice place to put some like family portraits or something. So I decided to leave it empty. But over here is going to be the family bathroom. It's so small. It's way smaller than I would have liked it to be, but it has everything that your Sims need. There's the shower and tub combo, so you can give your toddler a bath if you want to, or you're gonna need to, so I don't think you have a choice, but it has everything that you need anyways. But over here is going to be a kid's room, so I decided to make this room for 2 kids. I was thinking that they weren't twins. I was thinking that they're really close in age, so they're both children, but one of them used to have the toddler's room, and so when the toddler came along, they had to move in here with their sibling. And so I was thinking the original one is more into sports, and then the one that just moved in here is more into science. So I tried to make a mixture of sports and science stuff, but the reason there's the sports wallpaper throughout the whole bedroom is because originally it was the sports loving kids bedroom. And then when the toddler came along, they redid it with the really cute wallpaper with the hearts. It's such a sweet wallpaper, and I think it looks perfect for like a toddler's room. So yeah, I just love both of these rooms so much. This one and then the toddler's one that I decorate next. They're just so cute, and I just love the clutter in here. The posters I thought were really fun, and I really like the placement of the beds too. I decided to raise up that side table to look like it's more built into the beds, or it's taller than it actually is. So I thought that was kind of a fun layout for the bedroom. And then I just have tons of posters and clutter items and toys and things that I just thought looked really cool. I also have that Void Critter game on the floor, so your children can sit there and play that. It takes up a little bit of space, so if you wanted to delete it, then yeah, that's probably a good idea, so they actually have more room in their bedroom, but I thought it looked really cool. But over here is going to be the toddler's room. I love this room. It's so sweet. I had so much fun decorating it. I really liked this bed actually with the wood frame. I thought it matched the walls really nicely. I'm really hoping that we still get more toddler beds in the future. I always feel a little bit limited when it comes to doing toddler rooms, mostly just because of the beds. I feel like there's a lot of actual decorations for furniture that look really nice in toddler rooms, but the beds I do find a bit limiting. But this one actually worked really nicely for the color scheme that I wanted to go for, because I love using like whites and like yellows and like soft pastel colors in toddler rooms and nurseries. They just feel so neutral and like calming and just baby-like in a way. And I thought that chair that I used with the stripes, it came from Cats and Dogs, and it looks really nice in here too. But yeah, other than that, I get that dog stuffed animal. I have some building blocks on the floor. There's a bookshelf and some clutter and some toys. And I think it just looks really sweet. I especially really like the decorations that I put on top of this bookcase. Nothing snaps to this bookcase, by the way. There's no snapping points on the top. So I had to use the OMSP shelf to place a few items, but I ended up using this bear. I'm not sure if I've ever used it before in a kid's room or a nursery at all, but it looks so cute. It's kind of weird because it is like standing on its feet. So maybe it's not like a stuffed animal. Maybe it's a little bit like more rigid and can stand, but either way, it's so cute. And I've seen it before in the Build and Buy catalog, and basically how you want to see it is by turning on the show hidden objects sheet. And I think the reason I've never placed it before is because when you see it in the little preview, it's like cut off halfway. And so I guess that's why I've never grabbed it, but I'm so happy that I did because it's stinking adorable. But over here, I did just decorate quickly the ensuite bathroom to the parents' room. It's very similar to the other bathrooms. I basically just copied the furniture, and yeah, it's not that interesting. But here is the master bedroom. I decided to use this bed because it has the leaves on it. I thought that was absolutely perfect for a gardener. And the room is very simple. It doesn't have a whole lot of detail because I didn't want to clutter it up too much. I thought leaving it nice, and it's just a nice simple parents bedroom, and I really like it. So hopefully you guys will like it too. But we are coming up to the screenshots, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this speed build, and I hope you guys do enjoy the screenshots. So thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Say, take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new. Have you heard the fairies when they sing and dance? Oh, I wish it was me every night. When I close my eyes, I see trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too. Just close your eyes and know beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too. It's gonna take some time to get there. I don't care, I don't care. I'm in for the fight. It's gonna take some time, but I know that beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty